Hey guys, thanks for being with me today. I wanted to take a second for all the salespeople that are struggling, for all the people that is thinking, how can I get the next sale? What am I supposed to do? Do I need to read the next book? Do I need to hire some type of a mentor? And they're feeling kind of lost. So what I created, and what I want to basically go over here, is the top 20 mistakes that I did in my 20s in regards to sales. Keep in mind I'm 29, we'll call it 20s. Okay, so number one, not being content with my life and the way I'm living. This is so key. Like I see a lot of salespeople, because they're not selling and because they're not making a lot of money or the money that they want, what is happening is they're basically are not content with the life that they have now, and it causes them to basically project anxiety and project nervousness that they carry with themselves. This is a vibe that you carry with yourself. Now, it's very easy to recognize somebody that's not that content with his life, and one of the biggest things is trying to get the result too fast and basically pushing it into your life before it happens. So all of you 19, 20, 21, even 30-year-old motherfuckers that are trying to get the millions now, that are trying to make it now, I need you to take a step back and figure out how can you become more content in your life, whether if it's have a bigger, better apartment, whether if it's having a better social circle, whether if it's finding a hobby, anything that can make you happy on a day-to-day basis. This thing alone is gonna transcend your sales because it's gonna show. People are gonna see that. Okay, so that's number one. I will also advise you, by the way, if you're feeling that throughout the day you're lethargic, you're tired, you can't focus, what I did really recently that really helped me is I took a whole month with no vices. Okay, so any of you dealing with you want to quit smoking or vaping or drinking, porn, I mean, there's so many vices that are basically hijacking your dopamine receptors, and are causing you to be slow, or causing you to not concentrate. And it translates into your sales, but overall in your life. So one thing that you can do about it is for 30 straight days, don't do any of that. Quit everything, cold turkey. I know it sounds crazy, but bear with me. Try it, okay? Even tell your mind, convince your mind that on the 30th day you can do everything again. So you'll have something to latch on to, but for 30 days you're not doing any of that. And let me know how you feel in day 14. You don't even have to go for the whole month. So just a good suggestion on that. Number two, micro wins. Okay, there's an amazing book that I really recommend everybody to read. It's called The Winner Effect. Okay, so it's talking basically about how to accumulate wins and how to basically convince your unconscious mind that you're actually winning in life. Okay. Now, this is very important to any salesperson that is in a sales slump, that is feeling like he's just making everything, he's trying to make it happen, and it's just not happening. The winner effect. This has helped me in my lowest moments. Just a personal story. 1 year ago, I invested almost all of my money in some sort of investment, went to shit, lost all my money, lost everything that I had. And the one thing that got me out of there is micro wins and the winner effect. So the way it works is every single day you mark yourself 3 wins. Okay, it can literally be anything. Okay, and so for example, I did a complete presentation today. I was working until late. I was reading a book about sales, right? It can be anything. And what you're doing is you're basically convincing your mind that you're winning and you're progressing. there's something called the RAS, Reticular Activating System, which is basically how you train your brain to focus, right? So if I tell you, for example, close your eyes and think about anything that's red in the room, right? But the second you open your eyes, your mind is already trained to find the red things. So you can apply it here. You need to train your mind to focus on the wins, and after you do it for some time, you're gonna start feeling better throughout the day because it's gonna find the wins for you guys over time. So really, really important. Number 3, trying to sell all the customers the same way. And I had these mistakes for years. For years. I did it for years. Okay? This is where you learn a certain pitch, all right? You learn a certain thing about your product, and what you're trying to do is essentially perform the same thing with every single client, with every single sales pitch that you do, and thinking that just by doing that one thing right, by having this technique right, by having some type of a magical way to say it and everybody's gonna buy is what's gonna work for you. It does not work like that, okay? So do not be so rigid, okay? Now, keep in mind, have something in your mind, go through certain points that you wanna do, but you gotta be fluid. You gotta be fluid, okay? People can sense when you're just pitching them, when you're just spilling out words, and it's not an actual interaction. So really, really keep in mind to that. Number 4, trying to do instead of become. This is so crucial. If you get anything out of this video, literally anything, it will be this one. And this goes back to focusing on technique, right? Your goal should be, how do I become the best salesperson I can be, the best husband I can be, the best friend that I can be, the best person I can be. That person is gonna make the money, get the sales, get the results. That person, not the technique, not the sales book that you read, not the $30,000 coaching program that you took from somebody. And you know all of them out there on Instagram, all those content creators. You don't need any of that. You need to focus on who you need to become. So what I want you to do is envision yourself, right? Whatever sales goal that you have. Let's say that you want to make 40 grand a month, okay? What type of person makes that 40 grand a month? How does he need to think? How does he need to act? Who does he need to surround himself with? What is the type of friend group that he needs to have? What type of a place does he needs to live in? And it doesn't have to be expensive, okay? You don't have to just, go and lease or buy a crazy house to prove that, okay? It's enough to go out there and just buy fancy clothes, just, feeling good. Even if it's spending $200, $300, $400, start thinking about that person, because that person is able already to get through the things that needs to get through, to get through the challenges in order to give you the result that you want. Okay, so if any of you is seeing this and is feeling lost, is because the identity, who you are right now, is not gonna make it. And this is, by the way, something that is kind of hard to hear, but I'm just gonna hit you with harsh truth. If you were that person that can achieve the goal, you would already have it. Think about it. If you want to make 40 grand a month and you haven't done it so far, you're not that person. You would have already have it. Okay? So the person that gets the goal is not the person that you are right now. Change the person, get the goal. Okay? So, number 5, networking versus partying, or partying to meet people. This was such a huge mistake. I did it for literally years. So I was thinking that in order to grow my social circle, I would go out and I would go to parties and I would meet cool people. And what ended happening is I ended up having a lot of shallow interactions and shallow relationships with people. Okay, most people, by the way, that are partying a lot, like even if it's you or in your close group of friends, partying a lot, like those people are lost, okay? Those people are lost and they're directionless. Every single person that's chasing women, for example, in the club, to prove to himself that he's good enough, to prove to himself that, you know, he's the man, okay? All of them go to sleep at night and they feel a void inside. That void inside is because they haven't built themselves up on their identity to feel worthy enough for the things that they want in life, okay? A person who's confident doesn't work on his confidence. A person who's good at communication doesn't read communication books or taking communication courses. Now, it doesn't mean don't self-develop, but, you know, think about it. People who are already naturally acting like that, they don't have to think about it. That's what I'm saying. You don't focus on becoming the person versus learning the tactic and learning to close objections and learning the top three ways to handle objections. If you're the person that is an effective communicator, you would have already be able to overcome those objections, because the client is buying your certainty. The client is buying who you are. Okay, I know it sounds like a cliche. You know, be yourself is. It's not a talk about being a unique snowflake. It's more about being able to transmit certainty. Okay, I really need you to have it hit home. Okay, certainty, that's what they're looking for. Okay, so number 6, needing the sale or not being able to walk away. Okay, this goes into the scarcity versus abundance paradigm. Even if you're at your lowest point, okay, you don't have any money, you don't know what you do with your life, okay, you need to be strong enough in your character that you cannot be moved off center. Nothing can move you off center. You have to get to that emotional place where you're secure enough, where the people around you can move you off center, friends can move you off center, your family cannot move you off center, your girlfriend cannot move you off center, and neither does the client. Okay, there's plenty of opportunities, there's plenty of sales to be made, there's plenty of money in any industry. I don't care if you're in roofing, sales, construction, selling content creation courses, selling plumbing services, whatever it is. There's plenty of opportunities. It's just that you're not finding them and then you're projecting it on your profession. It's not the profession, it's you. Okay, and by the way, I'm sorry that I'm so harsh with the way that I go, but this is how I go about things. And I really want the person that's watching this to change, and I'm gonna hit it. Because here's the thing, if I was 20 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, watching this video, and I was able to really internalize the things that right now I'm saying, okay, if I was saying it to myself, my life would look totally different in 29. Okay, at 29, totally different. So, needing the sales. Number 7, not having a clear vision or goal about what you want to achieve in life or in sales. Super critical. Okay, I'm talking to salespeople and I'm asking them, what is your goal? What do you want to create? What's your vision? What's your 2-year vision? What's your 3-year vision? I would say 1 in 10 salespeople can actually articulate that vision in a very clear, precise way of this is what I want. Maybe 1 out of 10. Okay? You cannot get something that you're not clear about. Okay? The way that the unconscious mind works, and by the way, the unconscious mind is a very powerful tool. It's gonna get you what you want to have, but you gotta direct it. Okay, think about it like, you're driving a Ferrari, so the vehicle is strong, is fast, it's reliable. You can really get somewhere with a Ferrari, but if you're not putting the right address on the GPS, the Ferrari is worthless. Okay, so know where you're going. If your goal, for example, is I want to make 40K, how are you going to make 40K? What's your closing ratio? How many people you need to see? How many follow-ups? What are your statistics? Okay, write down your statistics. Stop treating this sales position like I'm a sales consultant. Like, no, you're a business owner. Start going after it. Start looking at this job as your business. You have a client base, okay? You have upsells that you can do. You also can create content. You can build yourself as a brand. Like, there's so many ways to go about it to get more business. The fact that you're getting a lead or an appointment from another business or a company does not mean that you're not your own boss, okay? Most of you guys, if you're trying to make the big bucks, you're working in commission-only sales, so nobody's paying you if you're not getting results, okay? Number 8, toxic friends. This hits close to home because actually today I had one of my former friends try to, mess up my name or try to hurt my reputation and try to attack me and break my inner social circle. So you gotta understand, like, people that are toxic, that are hurting you once, like those things are poison in your life. Like all those cliches, you're the 5 people you hang around, like this is very, very true. Very, very true. Like, you are now watching this, do an audit on the 5 closest people in your life, 5 closest friends. And what I want you to do is 2 things. So number 1, I call it the tire test. Okay, the tire test. If you close your eyes and you're thinking about those people, and you're thinking, if my car gets broken somewhere, the middle of nowhere, okay, let's say 2 hours from here, wherever you live, is that person, if I call them at 3 a.m., is he gonna come get me? If you don't have a clear yes, stop talking to that person that day. That relationship is over. That's it. You gotta have a brotherhood, by the way. Brotherhood of people that are growing with you, the people that want to succeed. And if you don't have that yet, that's fine, okay? But it's better to be alone than to be with people who are not growing, okay? You're gonna get further along alone, being positive, trying to grow yourself, than with people that are not doing anything, or eating Pringles on a Tuesday night, talking about the freaking baseball game and trying to catch some beers. Like, those people are not going anywhere, okay? Number 2, good news, okay? This is the second test. Work on something, right? You can work on your sales, you can work on your fitness, okay? Try to have a six-pack, whatever it is, whatever goal you have. Tell that person about that goal, and in a month, 2 months, 3 months, when you get it, go tell them about it. If that person is neutral or negative or not supportive, again, cut that person that day. He doesn't have your back, okay? Number 9, I don't give a fuck attitude. This is very, very important. This means I don't give a fuck about what people think about me, what my friends think about me, what my clients think about me. And then this doesn't go to say just be an asshole, okay? But you gotta remove other people's perceptions from who you're trying to be. There's always gonna be people that are not gonna believe in you, they're not gonna agree with what you want, and that's okay, they're going on a different path. But you gotta stop giving it so much energy. See, your brain have only a very, very limited mental capacity, mental bandwidth that he can use or it can use. And if you're spending it on what is this person saying, or what is he thinking about me, or what happens here, or, etc., you're gonna be limited and it's gonna hinder your goals, okay? So focus, super, super important. And here's another thing when it comes to self-worth. A lot of people are in this paradigm that if only they had the money, if only they were higher, taller, leaner, had a six-pack, had cooler friends, had $20 million in the bank, I can give you a six-pack, I can make you 6'6", I can give you 20 million Instagram followers, here you go, everybody loves you. and you're still gonna feel like shit inside. You're still gonna feel like you're not worthy. This is an inner game. This is an inner game that you're playing. Okay? People are, and here's another thing. If you're looking at this right now and you're a salesperson that's making no money and you're going for a sales slump or you're going for a bad time and you're projecting it onto yourself, okay, like, well, I'm a loser, this and that. What you gotta realize is when you're meeting the client, he doesn't know what you have. Okay? He doesn't know how famous you are. He doesn't know how much money you have in the bank. He doesn't know any of that. So you're always starting fresh. It's about here. Okay? Number 10, going back to scarcity versus abundance. And what I mainly want to talk about is how thinking that money can fill the void. Okay? This is something that probably up until the last 2 months, I lived my entire life on this. Thinking money can fill the void. But only when I have the money, once I'm gonna have the money, once I'm gonna have this, it's all gonna be good. One day when I have this, one day when I have that. And what happens is you're constantly projecting yourself into the future. You're never in the moment. If you find yourself constantly projecting yourself into the future, there's a really, really good book that is called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It talks about presence. It talks about being in the present moment. Okay, this is so key. This is so important. Okay, especially in sales presentations, when you're talking with the person and he's feeling like you're not there, like it's already done. It's already done. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how smart your objection handling lines are and all this type of like loops and everything you're trying to do. It really doesn't matter. You gotta be present in the moment. Okay. Number 11, fall in love with failure. Okay, this is a whole mindset shift. Okay, a lot of people, they're trying to play it small and they're trying to play it safe. And Gary Vaynerchuk have a very good analysis on that. So he's saying that at the end of your years, when you're gonna die, your life is gonna be like a scoreboard, okay, of wins and losses. And if you're playing it small, what a lot of people are trying to do is have like a 3 wins, 0 losses type of team. 5 wins, 1 loss. The people that really succeed in life, the people that are winners, they're really getting it, are the people that at the end of their life, their scoreboard is 1,241 wins versus 758 losses. They just try more because they don't give a shit. It goes back to I don't give a fuck attitude. Think like if you really didn't care, okay? And this goes way beyond sales, by the way. This goes way beyond sales. Like this is real life talk right now. If you just apply the I don't give a fuck attitude and just tried to do whatever you wanted to do for a period of 6 months, your life is gonna be so much better. I can promise you that. Like it feels so scary right now because you're projecting all those like, oh, this is gonna fail, this is gonna be bad. But once you actually start trying it, there's a positive momentum that pushes you and you just keep going and ultimately you're winning. Especially if you're multiplying that with the winner effect where you're just convincing your mind over time that you're winning and you're winning and you're winning, you're gonna start noticing like people gonna treat you different, people gonna look at you different, and people gonna give you the respect that you want. Okay? So, number 12, tactics versus certainty. Okay, I was talking about it very briefly in the beginning. For the longest time, I was focusing on sharpening the saw, whatever you want to call it. Like make sure that the presentation is flawless from start to finish. Like I was literally learning. Like I was memorizing lines and jokes that I can say at certain intervals, certain points of time to be able to make the presentation perfect. What I didn't realize is that ironically by doing that thing, I'm basically trying to prove myself. And when you're talking with a homeowner or a buyer, it's a game of frames, okay? It's a buyer versus seller frame. Who's the buyer, who's the seller? When you go to a car lot and you're trying to buy a car, you don't necessarily think about all the ways of how you're gonna be the nicest and how you're gonna, ask him about his day, or ask him about his cat, or ask him about this painting and be like really goody two-shoes, like he's gonna like me, because he's not gonna like you, because you're gonna be a people pleaser and he's just not gonna like you. It's much better to practice your being as a certain person with confidence, a person that just goes out and say whatever he wants. Say whatever you want, okay? Take 1 week where you going to your customers, or maybe they come to you, whatever it is, and you just saying whatever you want to say because this is what you want to say in the moment and you meant it. I promise you, it's not even gonna be related to the product. You can talk nothing about the product, the certainty is gonna win. Like when you're watching this video, do you feel the energy that, I want to help you, but at the end of the day, you don't like it? I don't give a fuck. Like this is the shit that, makes you attracted to listen to something. Okay? It's a certainty. It's the identity of that person. It's how he says what he says. It's never about what he says. It's how he says. And this type of video is more, it's not tactics. I will go into tactics, in the future. But before we go into tactics, I want you to have the mindset and I want you to have the identity. And this already gonna put you ahead of 99% of salespersons out there. 99% just doing that. Okay? Number 13, talking way more than listening. Okay? Kind of goes back into number 12, but man, this was big for me. And this all comes from fear, by the way. You're trying to say as much as you can. So especially in the beginning, this is what I'm seeing, right? New salespeople or salespeople that think they're not good enough or whatever, they're going into the lead, okay, or the meeting or sales presentation. The customer would ask him 1 or 2 or 3 questions, and they're gonna try to literally convince him in those 30 seconds about the whole product and why you should get it and why it's so good for him. The first 30 seconds. It's like you're dumping a bunch of information on him. He can never really grasp it. Like that's the worst thing you can do. Now that makes sense because somebody's asking you questions, so you want to answer him directly, right? You want to be respectful. No, that's not how it works. Okay? And this goes also to dating, by the way, which we're not going to talk about, but if you want to try to apply that, let me know how it works. Okay? You don't answer to that question. You answer about what you want and about what's going to make the sale move forward. Okay? So you only talk about what you want to talk. Timing is very, very important. Okay? So in the first 30 seconds, you never want to reveal your cards. This is like a game of poker. You always want to have aces in your sleeve that you're not talking about at all. The only thing you should be focusing on in the beginning of the sale is making the client horny, quote unquote, to listen to what you have to say. That's all. Keep it vague in the beginning. Okay, so number 14. Not understanding the angle. Wow, this is critical, okay? And I have a salesperson right now, I'm actually working with him closely about this specific thing. If you want to learn more, by the way, if you actually getting something out of this and you want to get more, you want to hear more about this, hit me up, send me a DM on Instagram or comment on YouTube, wherever you're seeing that, and I'll make sure that somebody reaches out to help you with that. Okay, so not understanding the angle. What is an angle? Okay, every single sale, every single sales interaction, there's one thing that the client says that is gonna make this deal. And normally you're gonna have to understand it into intelligence gathering phase in order to make it. And if you don't, there's no deal. Now this is a more advanced skill, but that can be something like, so I'll give you an example, right? So right now, I'm selling a lot of construction, solar, things of this nature. Okay, so it's in the client's home, it's a face-to-face type of meeting, and we sit with them in their house. Okay. Now this homeowner, she was telling me that she had somebody called her $30,000 for a roof. She thought it was very expensive, and he offered her a payment which was $500, which was very, it was too much for her. Now this specific client, you could see based on how she lives, and again, paying attention, right? How she dresses, how she talks, that she's in a scarcity mindset, or she's retired, so she's not having a lot of resources. That's also okay, right? So, spending money out of pocket, paying for it cash, is probably something that is very hard for her to do. Now, keep in mind, my roof is $45,000. So, logically, a lot of salespeople would look at that and be like, oh, she's cheap, this sale's not gonna work, it's not gonna, and just leave the house. But no, what's the angle here? She's saying that the $30,000 was a lot, and the payment was more than she could handle. So, what if I can give her the roof? Okay, so top quality roof, it's $45,000, it's not $30,000, but we don't sell crap. By the way, if you sell crap, get out of where you're going and go sell quality stuff so you don't get chargebacks. But anyhow, $45,000. The way I found the angle was, I was able to give her a $250 payment. See, it's not the total amount that was the problem, it was how she's gonna pay for it on the day-to-day, on her monthly bill. That created the deal, right there. It wasn't talking about the roof too much. It wasn't talking about like how good of a company we are and how she should trust me so much. It wasn't about any of that. It was literally just about how am I making the deal happen. The angle, that's it, just the angle, okay? Number 15, okay? Not seeing your worth and not giving yourself credit. This is huge. I know I'm saying about every number that is huge, but this is really big, okay? And those are lessons that I learned the hard way over 10 years, probably even more, probably my whole life. But this goes especially for men, okay? You gotta give yourself much more credit that you give yourself right now. Like a lot of men watching this, they're so into the paradigm of chasing something. A lot of it is chasing money. They're watching influencers like Andrew Tate, like Dan Bilzerian, that's showing on Instagram that they have all those yachts and boats and models and all that, and you feel like shit with yourself 24/7. Like that's on purpose. They're trying to program you to feel like shit. And a lot of the times, you have way more things going for you than a lot of people around you. Like just statistics, like a lot of people in your age group, if you're 20, 21, 22, I mean, most people are probably making like $10 an hour, working some shit job, smoking weed all day. They're not that smart. They're probably fat. They're probably not taking care of themselves. So just the fact that you are, taking a risk, working on commission, trying to become better, watching videos like this, it already puts you up there. Okay, so give yourself credit for that. That's the first thing you have to do. Okay, number 16, selling what you want instead of what the client wants. Okay, I'm gonna read it again. Selling what you want instead of what the customer wants. Okay, so let's take solar, for example. Solar panels, the product. You're going to the homeowner's house, and it's supposedly they told you the meeting is for solar. Okay, but now, all of a sudden, the homeowner is talking to you about windows, or he's talking to you about insulation. And you can take it to your industry, it doesn't matter, okay? He's talking to you about another product. What you're doing in your mind is, well, this meeting was about solar, so I'm going to talk about solar. No! Be fluid. Be fluid. Okay? You got to be like water. How Bruce Lee said it? Flow like water. Okay, I don't even know what everybody said, but it was something like that about being fluid. Okay? Be fluid. If he's more concerned about windows, shift the conversation about windows. This goes back to finding the angle. Once you have the angle, you're done. And once you get advanced in this, you're gonna know that you close the deal within the first 5 to 10 minutes. First 5 to 10 minutes, you know you're done. Deal's closed. Because you found the angle. Okay? Then it's just talking, connecting, and having fun. But wait, huge, have fun. Have fun doing this. If you're not having fun doing sales, there's a bunch of other industries you can be in that are making money. Might not be for you. Okay? 17, sleeping with the customers instead of dating them. Okay? This is a little bit of a unique way of saying this, but that's what it is. So don't just try to sleep or have a one-night stand with a customer, which is a hit and run. Just sold them and that's it. I'm gone. You gotta have follow-up. The follow-up, another cliche. Well, the money is in the follow-up. Well, not the way that you think about. Okay? Because most people are saying the money is in the follow-up, and what they're doing is they're not closing on the first meeting, and they're thinking that once they follow up, they're going to get the money. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is you sold them on the first go because you can, and everybody's telling you that you can't. It's a limiting belief. You got to eliminate that and then from your life immediately. You sold it on the first go, and now you're keeping the interaction with the customer to make more money. He's going to come to you. If you do it right, he's going to come to you. And in 2 weeks, it can be 2 months, it can be 6 months. But then you're building that pipeline, and now you have a bunch of people that love you and rave about you. Even if you did a shitty job, even if you managed it the wrong way, but you still nourish that relationship, you can still end it on good terms, and it's just going to be good for your reputation overall. So one big way to do this is there's plenty of websites that are services for corporate gifting. Okay, find one of those websites, find a gift that you feel like is right. It can be chocolate, flowers, whatever it is. Don't make it like a Valentine's Day, something sexual or romantical that can be perceived the wrong way. Like, just don't be an idiot about it. But order that gift, take a spreadsheet of all your customers, send it to them. Have a note, a card, okay, with a blessing that you give to them. That's from you. It's gonna cost you whatever, like $40 a pop. So you have 15 customers you wanna upsell. That's what, $600? Spend $600. I guarantee you're gonna make one sale out of that, for sure. Try it. Okay. Number 18, feeling bad for trying to close the customers. I'm looking you straight in the eye when I'm talking about that, because I know you felt it, and I felt it, and everybody's feeling that. I still, there's still a lot of times that I'm feeling that. Okay, it's never gonna go away. Like it's never gonna actually fade. Okay, but the way you get over it is you have to know in your mind, okay, that you're doing the right thing for them. This is so key. Like, you gotta know that you're doing the right thing for them. And I even tell them that. I have a line, you can steal it if you want, where I tell them, I can understand Mrs. Jones, if, I will ask you this, if your mom, if your friend had the winning numbers of the lottery, would you not actually convince her? Would you not do anything in your power for her to go and purchase that lottery ticket if you knew she had the winning numbers? I know the type of value that you're going to have with this. I know that you might not know me, but I can't be a gentleman if you don't open the door for me, if you don't allow me to help you. And this is why I'm so passionate about it. Now, this got to be real. Okay? If you're selling a product right now and you're not sure that it's giving value to your customer, it's giving him the most value, what I want you to do right now is either go study that product more so you understand how it's giving value. Go talk to your sales manager about the ways that it's benefiting the customer. Get yourself hyped about it. Or if you're not hyped about it at all, leave and sell another thing you believe in. This is so crucial, and that leads me to number 19. You might not see it. It's on the other board. Not believing your way is the best way for the client. Okay? I'll give an example from the way I work. Okay? The way we offer help for homeowners is where they have an option to have a low, affordable monthly payment for their project instead of paying for it cash. Now, that's very surface level. It might not seem like a benefit to you so far, but there's three options that are standing in front of the customers that I'm working with. Normally, those people are retired, on fixed income, divorced, single mother, etc., etc. They're in a bad financial place, but they need their roof done, they need their windows done, they need their insulation done, whatever it is. They don't have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, $100,000 to do this project. Okay? And if they do, it's very inconvenient for them to spend that money. It's probably all of their life savings. So, their option is to either spend their life savings or go to a bank, which right now is going to give them a crazy loan with huge amounts of interest, carry costs, and they're going to have to put some sort of a down payment, and it's going to start like immediately, and all those stuff. It's going to be very, very bad for them. Or the way we offer it is where we give them very attractive rates through energy efficient banks, okay? And we're eliminating existing expenses in the process. So for example, let's say their payment is $250. However, we put solar and insulation and windows in their house, so that canceled their electric bill. So if their bill is $200, $250, $300, and we cancel that out, and now it's $250, they basically didn't come up with any new expense out of their pocket, and they got the whole project done. Major value, right? But if you don't believe in it, if you think it's expensive, if you think that, that's not good, then the client's gonna feel that. And you can't, here's the thing, you can't convince yourself to think that. You can't fake it. Before you study any technique, study on how to believe in what you do and the way you're helping the homeowner or the client more. Believe in it more. Okay. Number 20, and lastly, thinking success equals money. Okay, this is something that I want to thank Dean, by the way, a good friend of mine, who's we were talking a lot, and he gave me an insight about it. This is very, very crucial. How do you define success? Okay, how do you define success? If your only way to define success is through money, then what it means, you're always gonna be dependent on a certain outcome. And that doesn't put you in control. Remember, we talked about not being moved off center at all times. Okay, you like this still wave at the sea, and everything is going up and down, and you're still like that. You're always still. You can't be moved off center. And if you're bound to outcomes all the time, such as did I make the sale, did I get the money, did I not get the money, is this friend moving out of my life, is this girlfriend leaving me, is she gonna leave me, am I gonna be okay, is my job, my boss gonna fire me? All those things is trying to drive sense of worth from outside. Okay, you gotta bring it to the within. I know it sounds super cliche, but you want to be successful, you want to make a lot of money, you gotta be okay. Like, you gotta feel like you're already making all that money. Whatever you need to do to feel that now in this moment, do it. That's how you get the money. And you can apply the same for dating. That's how you get it. Women don't see, this is a side note, women don't see how many other women you slept with. Okay, use it. Nobody knows who you are, and by the way, nobody cares. This is the fun thing about life. Nobody cares. It's very freeing. You think that everybody cares about you, but nobody gives a shit about you. They're caring about their own problems. They're caring about their own difficulties in life. And that's okay. Everybody got problems, got difficulties, but understand it, try to be a better person, try to give value, and you're gonna get a lot more in return. Okay, so I really, really hope that you don't do those mistakes. I really hope you like this video. If you did, again, comment below. What did you like about it? What do you want to see next? I really want to bring you guys a lot of value, and I hope it helped you today. Have an amazing rest of your day, and a lot of luck and success.